Okay, Megavanen, and welcome to another random film review. This is my review for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, this movie was, what a crazy film. Um, so, where to begin with this? And it's always hard for me to begin a review because, especially when um, you know, I just set my recorder up and then I do it. I don't prepare for anything. Sometimes it's either the next day, sometimes it's immediately after I watch the film, like this for example. This one it took me 2 nights to watch it. I watched it like a little bit in pieces. The movie's quite long. It's like 2 hours and 19 minutes, and you feel it. You feel it. But I'm not gonna lie like most folks, and they'll say, "Oh no, it went by quickly," or "I wanted to go longer," or that's um, it's kind of like when you say you break a leg. You don't literally mean it, maybe, or it's just like an exaggeration. But with my reviews, I just, like I said before, I just kind of shoot from the hip, and speak from the heart, and just, you know, um, very little preparation, just because you're always prepared when you're gonna do something, when you're gonna review something or do whatever kind of video. You get in that mindset and then you do it. um, Damn. Well, anyways, I just don't want to open a new one, just making sure I get every last drop of those. Everything everywhere all at once. So this is an all-star cast. We have Michelle Yao, and then I had to look up his name again so I don't forget. But Ki Hoi Kwan, who is Short Round from Temple of Doom. He was, I can't remember his name. Was it Micro or Calculator or something? He had like that, either Micro or Calculator, one of those. I can't remember any longer, but from Goonies, and I've seen that a few times. Goonies. I just can't remember his name from it. Right now at this moment, it escapes me. But Short Round is the one I have an easy time remembering that name. We have James Hong in here, and of course Jamie Lee Curtis, and a bunch of other people. That I probably a lot of Asian cast. This film, it's deals with the multiverse, and basically what it is about is, you have Michelle Yao, she's Evelyn, and Ki Hoi, his name is Waymond, and they have a daughter, Steph, and Jamie Lee Curtis is an auditor, and Evelyn, she owns a laundromat, and she owes a lot of money. I think Jamie Lee Curtis is like an auditor, and basically in the elevator when going to the office to meet up with Jamie Lee Curtis, the auditor, Kihoi is possessed by another of himself from another multiverse, and explains stuff to her, that there's basically someone named Jubo or something. I can't remember the name. But Jubo is supposed to be this great big villain, the Great Jubo, and she's gonna come after her and try to stop her. And it's only up to her, because there's something special about her. It's up to Michelle Yao, Evelyn, to stop her. And the thing is, I guess what's kind of unique about this multiverse is the reason why it's called Everything Everywhere All at Once is literally all the multiverse that's happening. She's experiencing it all at the same time, and it's a little weird. It took me a little, not too long, but I got it at the beginning of the film, after a little while, but and not too long really. What they do is they have to do like a weird series of movements, like a tick or something, and they can access another personality skill set, or another of their selves in a multiverse, their skill set, and like in one universe she knows martial arts, another one she's like a cook, that kind of thing. So she can access that, and that's they have to do that series of movement in order to access it, and that's happens for all of them. Now there's of course just like some family drama going on. Michelle Yao's daughter, Steph, I think was her name, is a lesbian, and the mom, I guess at first was not okay with that. James Hung is the dad of Evelyn, and that's basically what it's about. Now, what I think of this film, well, here's the thing. I want to preface that I do love these types of trippy films that are out there. Like some of them say you have to be drunk or be on drugs or something to understand those type of films, and I do dig that kind of stuff. Like Terry Gilliam type shit. Like let's take Time Bandits for example. I love Time Bandits as much as the next guy who likes crazy trippy kind of films, but for me this one it didn't completely do it for me, and I think there's maybe a few things, reasons behind that. First of all, I'll also say that if you're expecting this to be a straight up martial arts flick, it's not really a gung fu flick. There are fights in here and there's some gung fu to be had, but it's not a gung fu film. It's more of like a sci-fi multiverse film with gung fu sprinkled in it. And I'll get this out of the way. The choreography is pretty good for the most part, if a little bit short, but again, like I said, it's not really a gung fu film. But that's not my problem with that. You guys know I love gung fu flicks. I love my sword and sorcery stuff. I love action, but I love stuff that are where you do have to think, and I'm not all about that. I love like old flicks, for example, Breakfast at Tiffany's, for example, or The Wizard of Oz, or things like, I don't know, The Kid, Charlie Chaplin's The Kid, or I'm just trying to think of what else do I have here. Kiss Me Deadly, or Stanley Kubrick's The Killing, or The Killing, or was it The Killer? I can't remember now, but so, stuff like that. Okay, but so I'm not just all about the gung fu. This film, I think it's just too crazy, too much crazy going on for my taste. Maybe for some people you might be okay with that, but even though I didn't see other people's reviews for it, although after it was done, I believe, hold on, let me check. I think IGN gave it like a perfect score of 10, but let me double check that. Hold on. Yeah, they called it a masterpiece, 10 out of 10. I mean, really. That's fine. They're like I said, even though I still like IGN, and even though I trust people's reviews more than like the professional reviewers, but that's not always the case. IGN is one where I strangely enough do like their stuff. I do enjoy hearing their reviews, and like Ebert and Roper back in the day, and Siskel and Ebert back in the day. IGN, I do also respect their reviews, even though there are some times where I don't always agree with them. And the people that I do like the reviews are the ones that try to shoot from the hip, and they don't write a script, and nothing like no kind of big productions, folks like Trey Passer, or that speak from the heart, and you can just tell that they're people who these are people who mean what they say when they review movies, and they're not following what everyone says, or to kind of sound pretentious. To me, this film kind of borderlined on pretentious at times, with how strange it was. But as I said, it was a little too weird for me, for my taste in any case, and it was too long. That was another thing. Around the getting to the middle point, around the middle point of the film, I was ready to give it like a seven and an between a 7 and an 8. First off, I was super hyped to see this as well because of such the great. It was praised highly, and Michelle Yeoh, what an incredible cast. To see James Hong back on the big screen again, together with Short Round, Ki Hoi, is great together with Jamie Lee Curtis. But so I was ready to give it somewhere between a 7 and an 8, and I'm thinking maybe I could give it like a 7.75. But as it went on, it dropped down to like, okay, a 7.5. At the end of it, I think I will settle on a very mild 7, which a 7 is a 7 out of 10. And that's largely due to the stellar cast. Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Lee, James Hong, and Ki Hoi. Particularly, or I'll say especially, it's all of them, but especially Ki Hoi, James Hong, and Jamie Lee, because those three, they're like, well, Jamie Lee Curtis from the 70s, but 70s, and then the 80s particularly too, with Ki Hoi and Jamie Lee, 70s and 80s, and James Hong, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, James Hong from things like oh, please pay attention, do not pay attention to this fool, he doesn't understand. I heard the word ninja. What is that? Oh, you don't want to know. I can't. Just get out. I'm not leaving until you tell me. I'm sorry, but your girlfriend, she's possessed by a ninja. A black ninja, specifically. I don't remember exactly the dialogue, but, Ninja 3, the domination. Come on. Lucinda Dickey and James Hong was the witch doctor, Chinese exorcist in there. And, of course, come on, was his name Lo Pan in Big Trouble in Little China, with Kurt Russell and Kim Cattrall. Come on now. And I'm pretty sure there are films where, although I can't think of any, if there was any, maybe there wasn't, but I can't think of right off, a film where James Hong and Ki Hoi starred together in an 80s, some kind of, 80s film. That, those are the kind of films that I know and love from back in the day, Indiana Jones and the Goonies and stuff like that. And for me, Michelle Yeoh, she's someone I discovered like in the 90s, I believe, and early 2000s. Well, ever since, of course, Tomorrow Never Dies, is it? The James Bond film? I do know that, and I think it might be like a late 80s, maybe it might be early 90s. I know she starred in Cynthia Rothrock, together with Cynthia Rothrock, and I can't remember the name of the film. Maybe it was called The Killer or something like that, or maybe I'm mistaking that for a Chow Yun-fat film, or Contract Killer or something like that, where not Michelle Yeoh, but Cynthia Rothrock, she switched over from practicing karate, or maybe like a branch of karate, switching to Kung Fu. Well, anyways, so it's more so with that cast, especially James Hong, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Ki Hoi, and of course there's Michelle Yeoh. But like I said, those first three that I mentioned, particularly because of the 80s, and was starting with Jamie Lee, with Halloween, in the 70s, late 70s. But that's why to see those icons from my childhood together in one film is such a great thing. So that's why, like I said, I give it a mild 7, and it's mostly due to that cast. For me, the film itself, I guess I could say it is okay, but it's elevated from their performances, I'll say. I know that there's talk that it's up for like all these accolades and Academy Awards and stuff like that, and Best Actor, is it, or Actress, for Michelle Yeoh. I think I heard that, but for me, I can't really see any kind of standout singular performance. For me, it's like almost the whole thing combined. If there's an award to be given, it should be for the whole. You know, if there's a best actor, best actress, it's the combination of everyone working together. You know, it's not no singular effort. I feel it's everyone working in unity. I personally feel. Um, and something else I wanted to say. What was it? Everyone working together, and yeah, I guess I guess I guess that's it. Uh, I really feel like there was something I wanted to add to that now, but you know I was thinking about it as I was going to say it. Um, but yeah, oh, and that's what it is. I know they tried to inject this drama, you know, and emotional moments in this film. You know, there are parts, you know, where they did that, and you know, they're showing drama, they're crying, and there's a heart to heart. But I had a hard time connecting with that because everything was so crazy and all this crazy stuff going around, you know, because everything everywhere all at once, you know, it kept jumping around to different multiverses, and certain multiverses didn't make any sense. It's like almost just there for the sake of being weird and being strange, like the place with the hot dog fingers, and then there's a world where there are rocks, and then there are pinatas, which all that doesn't make any sense. They tried to show that with um, the they did like a mockery thing of I can't remember now the film. Was it called um, 3000 BC or not? Oh no, 2001. What's 3000 BC? 2001, the beginning of the, you know, with the apes. You know how they show, and then it showed that they killed one ape with regular fingers, and then all the apes had like hot dog fingers, and they evolved. But there's still like doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But I guess, you know, in the whole context of this film, it I guess it works for it. But I know they tried to explain it that way, but even that was not a good explanation. I thought it still didn't make much sense. But like I said, you know, if it's meant to be like the way it was explained, you know, there's certain choices that you made, whatever, you know, it branches off, but then it doesn't make sense even from the evolutionary standpoint. Like, why are they rocks? Why are there pinatas and you know, hot dog fingers? It just doesn't make any sense. So it's just too much and too crazy, I felt. Um, uh, I don't mean to sound like I'm ripping on the film. Like I said, it was just too crazy for me to the point where the emotional connection wasn't there. When it hit the 2 hour mark, there were moments where I got the sense of false endings, where it felt like, okay, this looks like it's going to be the conclusion and it's going to end. But then it kind of ends, and then it ends, but then it kind of picks up again, and there's something else. I'm not talking about the chapters, which I forgot to bring that up, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But it just felt kind of dragged out, you know, when I saw, okay, oh, 2 hours, and when I looked at the time, oh, there's still 19 more minutes left. I mean, I didn't felt this dragged out for an ending since it might have been the second Transformers, you know, the Jerry Bruckheimer one with Megan Fox, where they're going through the battlefield and everything's moving slow and there's a dialogue. The ending just dragged out so long because it was so slow, you know. So that's what it kind of felt like. And those false endings didn't help. You know, it just like felt like it was gonna end, and then something happens, and then there's another heart-to-heart talk, and then it doesn't end yet, and then finally it will end. It will end at like 2 hours and 12 minutes, and then it's like 7 minutes of credits. The film is split up into 3 chapters, where each subsequent chapter is shorter than the last. So like chapter 1 was like like 2 hours long, I believe. No, hold on, I'm sorry. Chapter 1 was not 2 hours, an hour and a half. Chapter 1 was like an hour and a half, maybe a little bit over an hour and a half. Chapter 2 was 30 minutes long, right? Wait, no. Chapter 1 was 2 hours. That's what it was. And there was 19 minutes left. And then chapter 2, I can't remember any longer. No, maybe chapter 1 was an hour and a half. Chapter 2 was 30 minutes long. And chapter 3 was the final stretch of the film, and that was like 12 minutes. To be quite honest, I think it was more like, it was either that or maybe it was broken down, like chapter 1 was 2 hours long, and then with 20 minutes left, it was something like kind of weird, and then, no, but I think it's the first way. It's like an hour and a half for chapter, an hour and a half for chapter 1. Chapter 2 was 30 minutes, and then chapter 3 was like 12 minutes, so it was diminishing each chapter, the length of time. Anyways, the movie is, like I said, 2 hours and 19 minutes, and you begin to feel it. And don't expect this to be like a Kung Fu extravaganza. It's not that kind of a film. It is a multiverse sci-fi with martial art elements thrown in. And for the most part, the fighting was pretty good, I would have to say. Even Jamie Lee Curtis gets in on the action. And for me, it's a 7 out of 10, and it's a mild 7, and most of that 7 is due to the stellar cast, particularly or I'll say especially the 3 that I've known and grown to love since, the 70s and 80s, which is Jamie Lee Ki-hoi and James Hong, seeing them together, and of course, what a bonus to have, Michelle Yeoh in here, of course, but all 4 of them really made the film. Music, pretty good. It had this like weirdness, the form that somehow the music kind of reminded me of parts of when something goofy was happening in the movie Super, right? In Super, like no, 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 it just kind of it gave me that kind of feeling. It's a totally different film, but like I said, and I'll say, if you're thinking this is bad, a 7, well, you only gave it a 7, and IGN gave it a 10, and everyone's praising it, so 7 is bad, and you think it's a complete shit score. Again, no. It is a mild 7. To me, a 7 is good. There are movies like, let's say, Troll 2, where that movie is shit. That is maybe like a 2 or 3, but because of its entertainment factor, and it's like so bad it's good, it's one where I could see it multiple times. And by the way, the best worst movie documentary that accompanies makes a great companion to Troll 2 is, of course, better than that film. This is one, Everything Everywhere All at Once, a much higher score, and it is on the positive side, on the very positive side, and it gets a good. I can't see myself seeing this film all too often. Maybe the next time I see it, it could be a decade or 2, and I'll be okay with that. But that's just me. That's my take. Hope you guys enjoyed. And this is a long review. Sorry about that. And see ya.